Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Rob here. Welcome to the Flame Entertainment and Sports. Just wanted to drop a bonus episode out there to talk about Freakier Friday, the sequel to the iconic, Freaky Friday from the early 2000s. I've been super excited to see this movie because growing up, Freaky Friday was one of those movies that I kind of always went to, and just thinking about it over the years, would always bring me like some good feelings, right, from my childhood. As time went on, and I watched One Tree Hill, you know, when I was in college, actually, One Tree Hill became my favorite show. Obviously, Chad Michael Murray, he's a big part of One Tree Hill and a big part of Freaky Friday. So that was one of my the things I was most excited for with Freakier Friday was to be able to see Chad Michael Murray in the movie theater. Because yeah, like I said, he's part of such iconic movies and shows from the early 2000s all the way to now. Like I mentioned already, One Tree Hill, Freaky Friday, of course, a Cinderella story, as Austin Ames. He was in Gilmore Girls. The list goes on, and now he's in Sullivan's Crossings. They just dropped their third season. It's out now on Netflix. So, shout out to Chad Michael Murray. Super happy, like I said, see him on the big screen in the movie theaters once again. But yeah, I wanted to do this episode. I had thought about maybe doing it, but after watching the movie finally, after watching Freakier Friday, I was like, you know what? I gotta do this episode because I feel like this is one of the all-time great sequels, in my opinion, because a couple factors as to why I believe it's one of the best sequels I've ever seen is two main elements, right? So one of them, it did a great job as a standalone film. I feel like Freakier Friday is its own thing, its own film. And the writing, directing, acting, whatever, all of that came together. And this is, like I said, a great standalone film. But with that said, the other key element as to why I think this is such an amazing and one of the best sequels I've ever seen is because it also brought us back so many nostalgic moments. It wasn't just seeing Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis and Chad Michael Murray and all these, characters from the first movie, but it was also seeing the minor characters from those movies, right? From that original movie, now part of this movie, and having once again their time to shine as well. And I'm not saying that every single smaller character from the first movie is stars throughout this whole movie, but no, there's just these little moments where you see these familiar faces, and it kind of takes you back, and it just makes you feel good on the inside, right? Like just takes you back, like I said a couple minutes ago, like this is one of those movies that just gives me happy thoughts, right? Freaky Friday, and now Freakier Friday delivered, just like the first movie did. Yeah, I had to make sure to drop a little bonus episode out there. Obviously, like I'm a big like spoiler free type of person. I don't like hearing spoilers. I don't like giving spoilers to people, so I'm gonna keep it spoiler free. Who knows? Maybe down the line, as time goes on, and it's been out for a certain amount of time, maybe I do like an episode talking about it with spoilers. But as of right now, I feel like we're 2 or 3 weeks since it's been released in theaters. So I still want to give people time to go check it out for themselves. I want to spoil it, especially for those Freaky Friday fans that have been waiting for this sequel for a very long time, because it's very much well deserved. And, I don't think it should be spoiled by anyone out there, I think all the fans should go and enjoy this sequel for themselves, So yeah, I already mentioned, a couple of the main people, right? Jamie Lee Curtis, she plays Tess. Lindsay Lohan plays Anna. I mentioned Chad Michael Murray plays Jake, but we also had Ryan, who's the husband of Tess, and he's played by Mark Carmen. It was great to see him. We also had the little brother of Anna in the movie. Yeah, little brother of Anna, and the son of Tess, Harry, played by Ryan Malgarini. It was great to see him once again. I hadn't seen him since Freaky Friday, so it was amazing to see him. We also got introduced to some new characters, including Harper, who's played by Julia Butters, Lily, who's played by Sophia Hammons, Eric, who's played by Manny Jacinto, and another one I want to shout out. The character's name is Ella, but her name is Maitreyi Ramakrishnan. She stars in the Netflix series Never Have I Ever. I thought she was like a complimentary slash starring role or starring character in this film. I thought she did a hell of a job. I wanted to make sure to give her flowers. I thought she was amazing in her character in this movie. But like I said, this is not gonna be super long because it is spoiler free, But I just wanted to make sure to, show my love and appreciation to everyone who was part of making this sequel of such an iconic movie. And a lot of times people get scared, and rightfully so, They don't want the legacy of that original thing to be like ruined, right? By something new, or people get scared it's a money grab, or not everyone's gonna be involved. And another element, I didn't mention this before, but I'm gonna mention it now. That's why I think this is such an iconic sequel to a original film, is because the majority of the cast members from the first movie were featured in this movie. I already covered that, but like the fact that we actually saw all these people come together once again on the big screen just like speaks volumes, I think, to like the type of franchise, or the type of love that these people have being part of Freaky Friday, and for them to want to be part of this Freakier Friday, for the sequel, I think speaks volumes as to how special this project was to all these people in their careers. And you even think of Jamie Lee Curtis and everything she's been a part of. And, for years we have been hearing her wanting a sequel of this. We had heard Chad Michael Murray for a long time, Lindsay Lohan, all these people that, and they don't really need this sequel. But I think they love it so much that they wanted to do this for the fans. And as a big fan of these films, like, just, I wanted to shout out all of these people. They did an incredible job with this movie. And yeah, guys, make sure to go check it out. It's out now in theaters. Freakier Friday, man. What a movie filled with a lot of blasts from the past. But like I said, it's also does an incredible job of being a standalone film. But yeah, guys, I know this is pretty short, but as I've repeated a couple times, it's spoiler free. So, there's not much more I'm going to talk about with this movie. All I can say is that I think every one of you should go check it out. For those of you who weren't born yet when Freaky Friday came out, or for those of you who were around but haven't seen it, please go see Freaky Friday before you see Freakier Friday. I feel like it'll make you appreciate it more, and it'll hit those the heartstrings, right? Like there's so many moments in this film that really take you back and just make you feel happy. It was one of the happiest, I think, crowds I've seen in a while. Being in a movie theater, I'm a big movie theater guy. Everyone was laughing. You could tell it was just a good vibe. People, would just laugh, and I would look around. People were smiling. It's just like one of those feel good type of things, because it just takes you back to some great memories from many, many years ago. But yeah, guys, gonna wrap up this Freakier Friday edition of the Flame Entertainment and Sports. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And look, for those of you watching on YouTube, you see my shirt here. Like I said, One Tree Hill is my favorite show of all time. Chad Michael Murray, an incredible actor, part of so many projects that I love and that people love from generation to generation. Chad Michael Murray has been, part of iconic shows and movies, as I said in the beginning. Obviously, here he plays Jake, and Jake's an iconic character many people love. And Lucas Scott is an iconic character as well. So you see my shirt here, Tree Hill. Me at the River Court, had to represent all my tree hitters out there as one of our own. Chad Michael Murray, was on the big screen here, Freaky Friday. So once again, shout out to Chad Michael Murray. Congratulations to him. Congratulations to the rest of the cast and crew of Freaky Friday. You guys nailed it. You hit a grand slam, and I couldn't be more happy as a fan, and I couldn't be more proud of all the work everyone did for this film. So yeah, guys, with all that said, make sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the flame_ES. If you're watching on YouTube, comment your thoughts on Freakier Friday down below. If not, you could, hit us up on Instagram and TikTok once again at the flame_ES. Send us your thoughts on this movie. And, make sure to subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Share this episode with a friend you think would enjoy it. And yeah, guys, with all that said, once again, shout out to the One Tree Hill Ravens. Until next time, everyone, take care.